Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Power of Knowing Forum and CSA Bangalore Chapter, a collaborative LinkedIn Live podcast about insights of women leadership special episode, a LinkedIn Live episode. Today, we are discussing on the topic of Gen AI cybersecurity, the double-edged sword of innovation and threats. To have this discussed, we have the honor of Satyavathi, Deputy CEO, CISO of Freshworks. Without further ado, let's welcome our esteemed speaker to the podcast event. Hi, Satya. Welcome to our session. How are you today?
Hi, Prem. Thanks for having me here. I'm really honored to be on this
Thank
wonderful
you.
forum.
Thank you, Satya. A small intro about your journey so far, Satya, that would help the audience to know you better.
Yeah, thank you, Prem. I'm in cybersecurity for more than 2 decades and worked in various industries that includes BFSI, IT, ITSC, telecom, media, and now currently a SaaS platform that is Freshworks. Done various roles, transformation and leadership, and also the architect roles. I'm also chairman and founder of CSA Bangalore Chapter, which is a collaborator with you for this very interesting CXO insights
Thank you.
that are
Thank you.
planned to be scheduled. Yeah.
Thank you, Satya.
Okay.
Satya, let's jump into the topic of discussion, right? So, we are talking more about what is that we look at and how do we engage audience in a balance between AI and human in the leadership decisions. My question to you is Gen AI versus human insight. Where do you draw a line in decision making, and how do you ensure AI does not overshadow human intuition?
Wonderful question. I think very apt, really. See, AI, which is actually the artificial intelligence, can process vast amounts of databases very fast than any human, obviously, because it's a machine. It can learn faster, it can build context, it can have intuitive insights, and also, to some extent, some level of ethical reasoning, right? However, human focus is little different, right? We do a lot of strategic decisions based on various other elements, emotional, human, reasoning, and various things. So there is a difference. For example, just to quote, right? On the positive side, Gartner in 2024 provided a case study where it said JP Morgan's AI driven fraud detection system reduced false positive by 25%. However, this doesn't stop the SOC analysts to do the final decision with their human oversight, right? So what is the reasoning here is that there are outliers and evolving threats where human decision is needed. You can't completely leave it to the machine for decide. So that's how the balance here is. In conclusion, what I want to say is AI should handle high volume repetitive tasks so that anomaly detection and a similar sort can be handled very quickly, while human focuses on humans means the resources can focus on strategic thinking, ethical dilemmas, and decision making in ambiguous situations. We require a right balance between this human AI and augmentation. It is not augmentation but replacement. Not a replacement but an augmentation. Sorry.
With the you touched up a point where you said we are looking at automation in terms of where AI can help us in some of the anomalies and stuff, right? So with this, what my next pointer to check is with the rise of cyber threats in Gen AI driven world, how do you prioritize cybersecurity without shifting from innovation?
Right. So the way we need to think here is AI adoption is actually increasing phenomenally, right?
Yeah,
And Gen AI, I think, just came, I think, 2 years or I don't know, 2 or 3 years now.
2 3 years, yeah.
Yeah, 2 3 years, and you see the way it has been adopted. So it also not just helping. the cybersecurity professionals, but also it is helping or enabling attackers to create sophisticated phishing emails.
Hmm.
And there is a World Economic Forum in 2023 mentioned that the phishing mails are created by these attackers with 95% of accuracy, which means there is a 95% chances that they will hit and you will actually going to click on that. Whereas the standard phishing mails, the way it was created, could have been caught by any other machines. So that's the power of the Gen AI. I know it's on the other side. However, on the other side, if you see how the Gen AI, which is a language, the LLM models which are helping. So Google have implemented AI-driven SOC augmentation. What it helped, as the way the statistics says, is it seems that incident response time is reduced around 60% and to focus on strategic initiative. I think it is not just these two examples, but there are a lot of organizations who are using Gen AI to encourage innovations. It is not shifting in innovation practically. Innovation is coming with Gen AI so that you can enhance your current capabilities and go to the next layer.
You gave a very important point where you are saying that there are socks that are run by Gen AI things. Now, I was looking at a different perspective in terms of how do we look at prioritizing. What was told, or what I've been discussing in most of the podcast, is that AI driven helps you to look at or clear out things that are repetitive in tasks, right? So then it frees up the person's time in terms of looking at how you can look at strategy that you told in as many words as you said in the last two questions. Can you share an example of time when cybersecurity risks caught off your guard, and how did you overcome them?
So yeah, I'm just not taking my example, but I'm just taking a example from the publicly available databases. Like in 2023, a large financial institution where I'm aware of or part of, that was hit by an advanced deepfake phishing attack.
Hmm.
Right. So what they have done is they have attacked by cloning the executive's voice. The
Okay.
executive's voice was cloned to actually authorize or nearly authorize a fraudulent transaction of $10 million.
Okay.
Right. So what do you need to simply do is, how do you do deep fake a particular voice? That particular voice happens to be the executive who has the power to do a transaction invoice crossing 10 million. Right. This has happened. This was actually a great eye opener. Right. Even though the organization had strong MFA, but traditional verification process is inefficient because with the MFA it's asking for voice check, and the voice has been passed because the deepfake is so good that it's passed. So what else you could do in those scenarios? You might wonder, right? These type of advanced threats and attacks when they are coming, how do we handle it? So there are various methods coming in again to address these impacts. Something like AI-driven behavioral authentication. How do you validate or find out the deepfake videos and audios? And then all this, what you can say, additional augmentation even at the detection layer is helping us reduce the chances of such attacks significantly. Yeah, but such examples actually throw you off guard and also help you learn the attacker mindset and improve multiple levels with such hits. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right on saying that, Satya. I was told by the speakers in our podcast on various occasions is how we are trying to enhance our protection layer. The attackers also are enhancing their protecting
Correct.
layer. They are trying to see how can they hack you with the same kind of tools. At times there are more advanced tools that they use what we use compared to, right? So this is a kind of a game that is we are going to look at the moment on the cyberspace is, now I'll throw you a challenge. Are you ready to face it? And how do you mitigate? That's
Right.
the stage we are going in at the moment. It's kind of becoming a gaming kind of a
That's
thing where you are saying, I use AI, you use AI, you attack, I remediate. So this is how I think the whole structure is going on. And how do you, or how can companies ensure that their Gen AI strategies remain aligned with the core values while mitigating cyber security risks? Can you give some light on that, Satya?
so. AI considering considerably new in the game. I mean, AI is not new, but Gen AI is new.
Yeah.
So, and earlier, all organizations and most organizations were using AI. We have the IT related policies and principles. But when with Gen AI coming in, adoption is increasing. There are a lot of nuances came in, right? Nuances like you are actually using some open AI system, and then you are giving some prompts which are engineered to answer the way you are looking for, there is a chance that the prompt will be completely misused, right? So, for example, I'm just giving an example how this could work out, right? So, you have written an algorithm to actually produce an output of certain way, right? And you have started working on it and you are building products on it. Imagine somebody writes a prompt saying that forget everything, whatever you did so far, and do this way. So what happens in that case is whatever the AI learned so far is unlearned in a quick click of a button. Or it can actually completely poison the metrics by saying, by the way, I know you actually build a great algorithm to say that Europe is getting me at 20%, but I got to know that no, it's not the Europe, but it is Ethiopia, particularly. I'm just giving it a false data to completely falsify the overall statistics. So these are the changes which are creating imbalance for organizations, getting us cybersecurity risk. Coming back to how do we align the business strategies to Gen AI strategy, there are frameworks available like NIST, cybersecurity framework for AI, and then OWASP, vulnerability list for AI, and also there is a AI policy which came in Europe. So there are frameworks coming up. Based those as a base, organizations are building their own standards and guidelines to build a very secure, what you can say, AI modeling and AI prompting, etc. I lost your voice suddenly, Prem.
Sorry, I was in mute. Sorry. Uh, I was looking at another pointer which I would like to add or to look at what are some of the unexpected consequences of implementing Gen AI in cybersecurity that you've observed or you've seen or heard about in the discussions that you. It can be either positive or negative. What is your take on that kind of pointers that you get, Satya?
Right, there are various cases, right? So the case studies, one of the um, cloud provider. I'm not naming the cloud provider. When they implemented AI in the initial stages, they started recruiting using the online AI system, which actually does the application processing and then selects it and then sends it to the recruiter, so that recruiter have less number of profiles, because this
Hmm.
organization is getting obviously a
Yeah.
cloud provider, so it gets thousands of applications. It has to be coming to few finalists, right? So to do that process, they used AI, right? So what happened is after some time, the recruiters realized they're only getting male candidates. There are no female candidates,
Okay.
right? So then they came back and understood why it's happening, what is causing this to happen. Then they realized because 80% of the applicants are male and 20% or 10% sometimes are female, they consider female being an anomaly and started dropping.
Okay. Okay.
So this is a classic case. The study use case is available. However, this is quite old. There are chances to do such biases because it only goes on anomalies. It is not doing ethical or equality. All that is not known to it, right? So it is just going by the numbers. Same way, there are cases where it actually genuinely identifies. When there is a hacker, what is the photo you see generally is a male with a hoodie coming in, right? So it actually searches for what is a hacker means. A hacker could be age between 18 to 25 and young, all that. This is information based on what it learned with the images and the content what it saw. May not be true again.
Yeah.
So this applies with ChatGPT also. Sometimes it gives you general information. It's quite vague because that is what it learned so far. You need to teach it more to get the right type of information, because there is always certain amount of biasing based on the content what it learned, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So going with a complete automation is very dangerous. You need to do a proper ethical and responsible, as well as security and safety as predetermined notions. Otherwise, it can click a button and everything can go away.
You're right in saying that, Satya. What I understood is you should have certain automation done where I think some can be detected and there is a human intervention for review and check, is what you're trying to say. In terms of positivity is that you get most of the work that can be done automated, but on the negative side there should be a human interference there where you look at approving certain things. Your example of the earlier thing also said it was an auto approval and the finance claim went in, right? So that's where I think we should play safely saying how the benefits can be done, but how do we review the AI that is we are bringing and how the automation is taking that, right? And how does the increase of use of AI in security affect the trust dynamic between business and their customers?
So, how does AI in cybersecurity impact trust with customers? That's the question.
Yes.
Um, See, customers value security, right? In general, but if they know that AI is making decision, they fear.
Hmm.
Yes or no, right?
Yeah.
So AI is driving AI-driven cars, same as AI-driven or autonomous vehicles.
Autonomous vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today, I mean, uh, it's not necessarily everybody is very happy go and buy such vehicles because there is a fear.
Yeah.
While there are few people they are interested to test, there is always a fear of testing something completely unknown.
Hmm.
So AI driven decision making is a really known. However, as long as you are building a kind of a human AI combination and you have a sensible way to handle it, I think the trust could be built. So there is a survey done by PwC which says that 75% of the consumers distrust AI when it
Hmm.
comes to personal data protection. It was released in 2023. What it says is that when you are actually doing OpenAI, there is a chance that the chat GPT, I'm using the word chat GPT, but there could be any other LLM, um, it could falsely label a security threat, right? And it has actually created a threat which may or may not be really a threat for the particular environment or a particular organization. Then what happens next is users question its reliability. So
Hmm.
you can't just, that's the reason why these every organization is building their own modules for their own companies. They completely don't use OpenAI as it is OpenAI. You pick the OpenAI and build over
Your
and
own LLM. Yeah.
over and beyond that to answer it. So to maintain trust, you need to create something called explainability. So there is an explainability, a logical reasoning, why the decision is happening, what is the justification it is taking for taking A, yes, B, no, C, maybe.
Maybe.
What is it? It is causing to go through that stages. You need to have a very clear reasoning, and also there should be an option to do a override, and there should be an option to do kind of a strong data governance. As you know the old method,
Yeah.
garbage in, garbage out, right? If you are sending the garbage inside, no matter whatever the artificial intelligence you have, you will only get our garbage out. So the data need to be cleaned,
Cleanse.
cleansed, and properly maintained. You have a very strong mechanics of whether this data is relevant and specific to the problem you are solving. You're not sending petabytes of data, with out of which maybe a few bytes are very important. So you need to actually do that cleansing and minimizing, and also the uh, there is also normalization as well. So the normalization aspect here is you should make sure that you're not passing the sensitive information through the AI, right? So it is another challenge. So you need to normalize the data, masking or something like that. So all these things are very important to establish the trust.
No, I was part of one of the organization where we used to do gap analysis, right, for a process, right, where a process is there and say claims process, giving you an example, right. So when we started looking at claims processing, we used to do OCR based image processing there, and once the image is captured, we used to go and mask the data where we used to remove all the PII information, which was very clearly moved about. And example like customer name, the invoice amount, the invoice number, their address, their phone numbers, their email IDs, we used to mask them. In the initial thing, we used to take all the data so that we know what to mask and what not to mask, right? So that is the process that we were doing, and that gave us a lot of insight how PII data can be looked at and how security and trust can be gained by the customer. In that organization, what we also did is we never kept the data, though we are doing image processing of this one. We had always the data or the gateway server in their premises, and we used to have a tunnel created from our AI model to their server, and we used to process the data. Only with the person coming through that dedicated channel, we are able to see the data with that process owner being with us. Otherwise, we would not be in a position to look at. One way of looking at it, Satya. Now, what is one cybersecurity failure or a challenge that deeply shaped your perspective on risk management, and how did you turn it into a learning experience? Because once we make a mistake, then we learn more. When we test something, we learn more, and once we teach something, we learn much more. So how do we look at this pointer in cybersecurity risk management?
Absolutely. I think we have a lot of examples which are cybersecurity failures and conducted on security products. And
I
just
think those are learnings for us as well, right, Satya?
Yep, see, absolutely, absolutely. And also, it's actually based on the approaches, right? So, for example, the event of CrowdStrike, the
Hmm.
event related to
Yeah.
SolarWinds breach, right? These are all wake up calls on supply chain security, right? What happens when a particular vendor of yours go through certain blind spot, which leads to third party integrations, which impacts larger larger I don't know larger elements across nation and multinations, etc. So there are few things, right, we cannot explain until that happens.
Yeah.
So that is something I think we should actually, as an organization, every organization, we need to think through. What are my third party or integrations? Have I actually done my rigorous security test vetting?
How is
And
that vendor coming also as a risk that we have evaluated against that vendor? What are his tools, right?
right,
And what is
right.
the tools that we integrate to our systems? That also is a risk management. I mean,
Absolutely, absolutely. And now with AI coming in, now every vendor is using AI, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
are you aware that whether the vendor is actually conducted their AI, whether the AI went through a risk assessment or not? And how are you monitoring your vendor risks? How are you managing your third party vulnerabilities, etc. I think that's a big learning for everybody. And considering now it's a bigger game, right? So
Hmm.
even the code written by the developers is not completely theirs. Most of the cases, it's a object reuse, copy paste, practically.
Hmm.
And then in that there are multiple libraries which they're calling, and are those libraries actually stable or latest? Do they have any vulnerabilities is an issue, and we are doing a lot of API integration. Is all APIs are secure, or how they are connected? What are they connecting back to? Is there a way that through this API, the new tunnel which you have created, do they have access to my data or my sensitive data? All these questions comes in which need to be validated, and also leads into, as you rightly said, the cybersecurity failures if we don't do the proper due diligence. And this is beyond
Exactly.
Gen AI. Yeah,
Yeah. No, you're right. Now, risk assessment using AI, we are trying to look at risk assessment for AI itself.
right.
Coming back and saying that now, one pointer that you said was AI is been there for very long time now. Now, I quoted this in few of the sessions, and when we did a manufacturing based with one of the IoT based security product on OT, what we found was that uh, manufacturing industry had always taken automation much faster then. Now what solutions IT was providing, IT is turning back to have the solutions automated now. I think that's the stage where we are. We enabled manufacturing or any organization to automate their tools using technology. Now technology wants to get automated. So that is where we stand, is what I get to hear from the OT security guy said. With how do we ensure the team feels empowered and make real-time decisions in cyber crisis? Because when there is a crisis, we always are in panic. And while also leveraging AI tools for better outcomes. Your view, Satya.
So see, as a cybersecurity leader, right? You and me, I think what is important for us is to address the incident as quickly as we can.
Yeah,
The response time is what matters for an organization is concerned. How quickly we can respond and how effectively we can respond and how well we identify our risks appropriately, that's what matters. So to do all this, you need to have a mixed bag, right? The mixed bag contains AI, which can assist in rapid decision making, because it can actually dig through multiple millions of petabytes of data and gives you insights quickly. And then while humans can help, our engineers and our analysts, architects help in building that right decision, the right choices. That's this is the combination how it will happen. But coming back to how people or the teams can be empowered or convey that why this is important for them to leverage AI. I think there are various incentives that I can think of, but think like a way in which if a person know how to use ChatGPT effectively or OpenAI effectively and make the analysis faster, will be obviously more effective and faster in producing response than any other. That's a common thing, right? So there might be few people who are lagging behind, but they're still learning and they're going on the way. So there are cases where I think there is a recent attack. Microsoft security team faced um, the zero day attack in 2023, right? How did they have done? As per the blog of Microsoft Security, is that they combined the AI-driven threat detection and added expert human oversight. That's how they have written. I think that's exactly. I think we should follow. The way you will do is like we should have a playbook on how do we manage such decisions.
yeah,
What makes, as I said, yes, no, maybe. What are your explainability reasons? I think you should have a playbook, and we should also have insights, and security team should retain the final decision of the authority. That's how we empower them. Hey man, AI is actually helping you to get you
yeah,
the insight. Doesn't mean that that's the one taking decision. You are the one going to click on either red button or a green button, right? They only tell you, okay, this is what it is, right? It is you who will make that happen. So you are still the powerful person. Um, what AI is helping you is getting you that speed and accuracy what you are looking for.
Rightly said, it is an enabler. Nowhere it's saying that. Now, I'll take another example where, taking your pointer as a reference, I've told this in multiple sessions. I will relate this to banking industry in specific again. When ATMs started, everybody feared that people will lose jobs. And now every bank has multiple services. ATMs are still functioning, right? Banks are fully crowded same way earlier how it was crowded. So that is a phase that I think happens where you'll find some people who are doing repetitive jobs which can be easily automated, and that's the thing that is going, the enhancement and the improvement to the way we do things is always getting better with the way we get kind of a responses from AI tools, right? And with that piece, now how do we look at bringing more strategic thinking to new businesses and give better answers or solutions? That's how AI is enabling us, is what I felt. And there was one more discussion which was happening, was that now you have one of the reason for having this podcast started also is that only, Satya. When we got Google, what we used to do is we used to search, you will get 100 sites, but what to look, what to take a reference, we did not know. Now with chat gpt or any AI ML tools that we are using, we get a specific answer and we say this is what you can, it is a one answer. It does not give you 10 answers, it gives you one answer. That means you are getting a solution which you are in a position to try rather than search over 100 sites. That's what we are seeing as an automation. That's the enhancement, I think, what we should look at when we talk about AI and cybersecurity. We are trying to do incident response much more faster, build an LLM which learns by itself, saying that this has earlier happened, that is why this is coming, and give you a response quickly. You don't need to wait for somebody. That is the thing that we are looking at. Now how do we also look at, how do we manage to stay ahead the curve? Because the fast evolving cyber landscape, that is also because of AI, right? And what advice would you give to someone who just started their career in this field?
See, to stay ahead of cybersecurity, what should do, right? So that's a very good question and a very interesting one. Just like the traditional, chore police or thief and the culprit scenario,
Yeah,
um, thief and police scenario. So it's always thief who runs faster. Police is always following.
yeah,
It's not the way other way around, right? Police is not following front and then thief is following, coming back. It's always the other way. It's a catch up game.
yeah.
So there are scenarios where I have been asked, right? There are cases where maybe one case I can give you an example. I was not a cybersecurity leader at that time. I was just a cybersecurity architect. But I
Hmm.
got a chance to meet CEO, and he asked me, "Hey Satya, tell me, do you believe our company is safe now?"
Hmm.
Said,
Okay.
I was like, I was completely blown away. Like, how will I answer this question, right? I'm just an architect, but I know it's your company is not safe. But can I tell that to CEO?
No.
Yes or no?
No, it cannot.
So I was really in a dilemma. I think then I finally said, took some time and then answered him, sir, with due respect, our organization could be impacted or attacked even now. No way that any of us can secure. We try our best to
True.
manage the risk. Then what is the purpose of having you all here? Very valid question. There is nothing wrong. I think
Yeah.
there is nothing wrong. He's investing a lot by sending us for trainings and certifications and paying salaries. He should expect that the organization is safe and secure, right? There is nothing wrong in asking. But as a cybersecurity professional, how do you handle that? The answer there was like, so, just like any other scenario where you are just walking and you could be hit by a bike and dead, right? You could be dead just in a moment, and there is a chance that you will survive. The
Hmm.
same applies for cyber attacks, and they are happening whether you are small organization, large organization, mid-sized organization, and you don't need to be banned.
Hmm.
Anything and everything can be attacked. Even a small pawn shop could be attacked,
Yeah.
right? So that I think that is the mindset with which cybersecurity professionals should work. That's how they stay ahead of in the game. Why? Having the mindset that you would be attacked anytime will keep you,
Alert.
actually keep you alive. At the same time, you will be learning new things every day. This could be an attack, this could be an attack, everything could be an attack. You start thinking in that critical mindset. That's how you would be able to handle these type of advanced and non-intrusive attacks which are coming nowadays.
Very valid point. I'll refer to one pointer is that it is with humans, right? We don't know whether we'll see the light of tomorrow, but we plan for a future of 20, 30 years and stuff like that. We should see looking at what we have at the moment and where we can protect our family, our surroundings, and say. But tomorrow, if you don't look at the light of the day, then whatever you planned is not going to help you at the moment. You are gone already, right? So that is the stage I think cybersecurity is looking at you. You are available at the moment. What threat can come in at any time, you will never know, and you should be prepared for such things, is what I take from what pointers that I am seeing or hearing from you, Satya. Maybe that could be a different point of view at various people's level. Can you share an instance where AI helped detect a cyber threat faster than the traditional method, and how did this impact the team's workflow?
So see, most cases, I'm just going outside just to get you an answer. I'll come there to your point, right? For
Yeah,
example, LASIK surgery, you might have done it. Both of us wearing specs, right?
yeah,
So people go through LASIK surgery, right? It requires precision and accuracy,
right.
right? To do that, what they are doing, they are using a machine. They put a certain what you can say, thickness at which the cut need to be performed, where it need to be performed. All those details are given to the machine so that it does the cut exactly where it's expected. The
Hmm.
precision and accuracy, wherever you require precision and accuracy, whether it is actually a LASIK surgery or a human heart surgery, something like that, the machines are much better, much better than human beings, because our hand can shake and we could do a little mistake, then this could save, this may actually take the life of a person. So
Yeah.
that's why AI is being used in wherever you require highly precision and highly accurate decisions you need to take. So that is the places AI actually comes as a at a much efficient way to handle, right? Wherever there is a decision making involved, let's say the decision making, the same story I will bring it to the AI. Using AI, you are doing a heart operation and there is a thin vein opened and then it's doing a surgery, let's say, and it finds a area and then it fixed it, but it can't detect. It says that there is a 90% chances that this person can die.
Hmm.
What the machine will do in case you are not there to tell, continue doing it, it will say that person dead and it moves out,
Hmm.
right? As a human being, you say, you know what, there are 10% chances that we can fix it, go ahead and fix it, try
Yeah.
fixing it. So that's a decision I'm telling about a human involved here, just to give the impact, how
Hmm.
impactful it is, and it is happening today. AI being used in surgeries as well.
Surgeries.
Yes. So the human analogy here is that the critical decisions like that require certain ethical balances. You can't just go with the numbers alone, right? So there are other parameters involved. That's where the uh, you know traditional methods can be outperformed by AI, right? So there is an example relevant to the question what you asked is, again, this is based on the publicly available research, Google DeepMind 2023, where Google AI proudly says that their AI-powered malware detection. reduced threat detection time from 24 hours to minutes, right? However, there are various other studies which says that AI-driven SOCs in organization flagged insider threats 30% faster than manual reviews, because it's actually behavioral detection. It's actually using AI machines, AI mechanics and behavioral model. So it's actually detecting the insider threats faster. So these are such statistics which convey that having AI helped in reducing the risk to a certain extent, also identifying the detects or false faster.
Okay, thank you for that, Satya. As a leader, how do you look at fostering a culture of cybersecurity awareness within the organization, especially among the employees who are not tech roles? Because tech guys can learn quickly. The the awareness part, and to take one point, cybersecurity has, or security is always been a cost center for any organization. Now, looking at that, how do you bring non-tech role guys to look at a culture of cybersecurity awareness?
Yeah, I like the question. How do you bring cybersecurity awareness to non-tech employees? Like, you know, today every employee uses tech, some
Yeah.
sort. Laptop is needed and mobile is needed. Without this, they can't call it. So you are speaking about engineers, non-engineers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So general cybersecurity awareness. How do you do it? So, I mean, here I'm going specifically to Freshworks, quoting my own organizations. We have gamified cybersecurity training. What we do is we do games, like we conduct quizzes. We actually do flash mobs. You might have seen flash mobs, dances and all. We do flash mobs by doing like playing game and giving them gifts, etc. So that's another way we actually build that awareness. And also phishing as a game, right?
Mm.
Phishing is the most popular thing which happens in normally any organization. So how can we gamify phishing, right? So now anytime we see a cybersecurity, any person, they cybersecurity means they said, oh yeah, yeah, I got that mail, you said that funny mail, I know, I realized and recognized and pressed the button, it is phishing. So they're so proud to say that they were able to identify phishing early. So I think gamification actually increase the engagement among the people. As long as you are not making that boring session, right? You need to go for an hour, so you learn the cybersecurity. Yeah, they click, 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 click. Nothing goes in the mind. So our freshies, we call it as a 2 minute reels for our cybersecurity trainings, privacy training, certification. All are 2 minutes, 3 minutes videos. Like they just run and they like it so much, because that 2 minutes is not a powerful content. It's about people playing the roles and then show what are the do's and don'ts of cybersecurity, which connects to the current generation much faster. It includes tech and non-tech employees.
Okay, very important information on that. Gamifying, definitely people like gaming. That is what is happening with the AI. What is one biggest misconception people have about the role of Gen AI in cybersecurity? How do we dispel it?
Yeah. So you do remember the olden time when the computers came? Everybody said computers came, so
Mm.
we will lose jobs. We were filing with manual papers and all. So these all jobs are gone. These computers come and replaced us.
Yeah.
You remember that, right?
Yes, yes.
We both come from that arena.
Yeah.
So, but people still have jobs because IT brought a new revolution called digital revolution, and then we all have additional jobs, and now India become the center or power center for digital transformations, right? So we are changing the game for across the world. So that is the change. Same applies to AI, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so when AI came now, like thing, it is like okay, it might replace people. Maybe the people will be cutting the security teams because there is a lot of automation is happening, right? So there is a repetitive task which could be automated. That means that could replace people, etc. See, Any automation, whether it AI or non AI, right, can reduce the jobs,
Hmm.
because if you are doing repetitive tasks, you are undervalued already,
Yeah.
because you are doing a repetitive task of button clicking button. Instead, you are getting a better job of taking a decision, providing better insights, doing a better qualified job for the role what you have been hired for. That is more, fulfilling than doing a repetitive task. If it is repetitive, it's boring also, right? Why
Yeah.
not move that repetitive task to AI and ask it to automate? So you are actually focusing on strategic areas. I think that's how you should value it. You should value that AI is bringing something like this, and then this is helping me do quality job, then the minuscule job of pressing a button. Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
people have to understand this. If you believe you are doing a repetitive task, start learning and go on moving, advancing yourself. That's another way of thinking.
I think your point is very valid there again. Now, what you said, mundane jobs of repetitive tasks. Now, if you are getting into a process where it says these tasks are being done, how do you look at whether that accuracy is there as a reviewer? And if you go and start becoming that reviewer, your job is to see most of the activities that you are doing are it is getting automated, and you are becoming a person where you are giving an input saying that what I am doing manually is accurately done by the system and I approve this, right? So that's the way that we are looking at AI to help us. And with that, how do we balance a drive of innovation with potential ethical risks of Gen AI in both business and cybersecurity sectors?
So, can you repeat? Sorry, I lost.
How do we drive a balance for innovation with
Hmm.
potential ethical risks of Gen AI in
Hmm.
both business and cybersecurity sectors?
Right. So, when we are speaking about the ethical concerns, right? Just we mentioned earlier, right? So the male female ratio, or certain biases are there in the data, right? So when you have certain biases in data, it will actually take a biased decision, right?
Mm.
And then you need to have a umbrella called as ethical check for ethics, check for reasoning, check for explainability, check for security, check for safety. So all these are additional checks you need to add to AI. Okay, don't give any decision without checking these ethical parameters, and these are my ethical parameters. So what you are trying to do here is just like you teach any human being, you are teaching AI saying these are my ethical principles I follow, right? I value all human beings at the same level. Gender doesn't matter, male female no gender, all genders are same for me, don't even rate it. That's one principle, let's say. Second could be races doesn't matter, whether Indian or Asian or American, all are equal to me. So that's an ethnic principle. Then age doesn't matter to me. Or so these are, I'm speaking about a particular model about the screening what I've taken as an example earlier, right? If you do all that, then you are actually matching to what you have written in your um, policy, which reads that we actually value all regions, all races, all ages, and all genders equally. So that's your policy, and you are actually teaching back to AI. Don't do your biasing based on your data, but you check these principles, right? So that type of models you need to develop. So you need to create that filters, right? To add that, and also explainability. Explain me why you are taking the decision, right? Give me a reasoning, what is making you to take move on certain direction. So that explainability also is a modeling which you need to build, right? Why you take this, why you take that, what are the rationale you need to take. Yeah, human lives are more important for me, and then money is more important for me, or whatever. So whatever is important for you, you need to teach it, right? And then allow it to give the explainability. So and one, now not only that, current AI models what you are buying from the market also comes with their additional modules for such filters to be added as an additional service. And they actually help you build these guardrails, they call it,
Mm.
right? So you can actually add them as additional principles by buying that guardrails, and you can also additionally customize it and apply it for your own organization.
Uh, your points are very, very aligning to what I was thinking in terms of AI. I was looking at one of the seminars which we were talking about, saying that how AI can make decision in an accident case in a claim process, right? So what it did was, it said two parties involved, two cars involved. This is the location. This is a nearby hospital. No death. These are the things that pointers were given to that two accident, two cars. Location is this. This is what it happened. These are the two cars. And no impact on life or anything. There is a damage to the vehicle that was given, and they were asked to say whether I can process that claim. When they run that query, what happened was that it threw out all the things, saying that the car would be at this speed, this is what would be the impact, this is would happen, this is the nearest hospital they would have been taken for the first aid and all that. And it said, this is my analysis. Input from you at the site would be more accurate for us to process the claim. This is the analysis that I've got with the questions that you asked, or the inputs that I've got. The claim can be approved keeping this basis. Further scrutiny can be done based on the on site analysis. So this is one example which we were told, while how the systems can automate and give you an analysis based decision making tree that you can put and see how the automation of claim processing can be done. That is one another. Now it can be other way also, saying that I don't want to get this claim processed. I can put a saying that this, if these conditions are not matched, and this is the seat belt is not worn, he is coming on the wrong side, if these are pointers which are given, it will also say the safety was not taken, so this claim cannot be processed. That also could be one of the reasoning that was told. So that is a decision tree that you can build when you ask right questions, is what I understand in whatever pointers. This I've got in couple of discussions that I had, Satya. So this is what I felt we can look at, having a clear decision tree done to map things and do to see on the next level. What do you see as the biggest disruption coming in the cybersecurity industry in the next 5 years, and how should leaders prepare for it?
So we spoke about AI empowering attackers earlier, right?
Yeah,
So AI started empowering already, and then they are coming up with new malware
yeah.
and new reverse engineering techniques, etc. And add quantum computing to it, right?
Oh, okay.
So if we add the quantum computing as a
Capabilities.
algorithm, so I think you might have heard already that the RSA algorithm can be broken in
Yeah.
few minutes or so, right?
Yes.
So if that happens, if that happens, which means it's not far because the chips are already announced that the
Yes.
quantum chips are available, so you can go ahead and build it. So imagine attackers got hold of those quantum computing and started building models to decrypt your all type of tokens, what you think of, all type of security you think of today, like secure channels or multi-factor authentication certificate, all will be going to waste. So that's the biggest problem which we need to address, which I think nowadays the organizations or products are coming up with saying, I can address you post quantum. So my products are resistant for not today but post quantum. So that's how the products are started thinking. The security companies started thinking and building their products resistant to quantum attacks. Well, that's the biggest disruption which is coming soon. AI itself is a major disruption already. You
Yeah.
know, using AI as a and OpenAI as a backend, people are building new methods of addressing solutions. At the same way, new ways of attacking as
Exactly.
well. So I think that's a disruption which continues to progress, but major disruption, what I am seeing in the coming years is the quantum computing based threats.
Okay. We are at the fag end of the time, and one last question I would like to take from you, and then we look at some of the comments, and I'll summarize what we discussed overall today. With cybersecurity and GenAI are often viewed through a technical lens, but what human-centric qualities do you think make successful leader in this field?
Wonderful, wonderful question, I think. So I think, see, as we just thought of, right, the decision making, the
Hmm.
strategic thinking, and delivering under pressure. So those are the things continue to be the most important skills for a cybersecurity leader or any other leader in general. But
Okay.
cybersecurity leader much more, because the person has to go through, for example, you are in a ransomware scenario, and then you need to think in the ethical hand, like, shall I pay ransom or not pay ransom, and how do I manage the reputation of the organization, how do I handle the stakeholders right now, what should I tell to my employees, and what should I tell to the customers impacted. All these comes in, and you need to handle in few minutes, practically, right? So many decisions to be taken in few minutes by the leader. That what that requires, right? You require to have sound mind and strategic thinking, and the presence of mind at the time. How do you make yourself balanced? These are the things which can't be taught
Right.
through technology. These are something you need to learn
Learn.
as a soft skill, and that's something which differentiate you versus others.
Thank you for that, Satya. I will take some of the pointers that have come on the chat. One is I am bringing that here. So we have her. I'm not able to. Her Smith Roth. I'm sorry if I'm spelling your name wrong. Gen A is reshaping cybersecurity both as threat and a tool. Attackers are using AI and more sophisticated phishing, deepfakes, and automated exploits, while defenders are leveraging it for threat detection and anonymity. I think we discussed this point in length. Your any other add-on points that you would like to add, Satya?
I think that's a valid point. I'll call it as Corey. Maybe I can't read the first part. So thanks for the question. Yes, I agree. GenAI is reshaping cybersecurity. Um, it's a threat, obviously. At the same time, it's actually helping as a tool to address various attacks which are coming towards us. Yes, it has, as it aptly addresses, right? It has both sides to play.
Yes. So that is where our topic of discussion also is, right? So today's topic of discussion itself is it's a double-edged sword, is what we are talking about, and how do we look at innovations and threats as a landscape is what we are talking about. So I think what I think you have got the answer in the as many questions that we had today with Satya. I am getting another pointer here which says truly any automation can affect job opportunities. So that's one point.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree, Prachi.
Yeah.
Any automation can affect the job opportunity, and ChatGPT or OpenAI happens to be one of them.
The other pointer that we have is Romita says wow. So
Uh,
she's
do, do we require a few more minutes?
yeah. We are at the end. I would like to summarize, Satya, on what we discussed today.
Okay.
We spoke about Gen AI and human interface, then Edge, about how audience with balance of AI and human thought in leadership decision. Then we explored tension between safety and progress. We spoke about complexity of cybersecurity with real world experiences, focused on alignment of technology with fast changing digital landscape. We brought up the hidden lessons that leaders can learn from it. We spoke about trust. We spoke about engaging vulnerabilities and lessons learned during those failures. Human centric leadership and crisis balancing autonomy with tech is what we spoke also. Then we spoke something about managing challenge, both old and new, and how do we secure the way. So, some actionable advice that we spoke about for beginners and seasoned professionals. Then we discussed about moral boundaries between cybersecurity and GenAI. And going further, we spoke about cultivating a company-wide security mindset, where we spoke about awareness, non-tech roles, and stuff like that. And going on saying how do we get clarity on the myths around misconception of GenAI and the importance of impact in cybersecurity is what we spoke about. Encouraging leaders to look at critical thinking and intersection of technology and ethics is what we also touched upon somewhere. Some of the highlight on proactive measures to avoid common pitfalls. And finally, we spoke about how human qualities to make good leader while being tech savvy and in the field is what we spoke about, Satya. With this, I think we have covered the pointers that we wanted to have your input, Satya. And it's been a wonderful session for us to have you today. And we would like to thank you and being part of CSAs as an initiative starting today with far more to come up as a podcast from CSA and Power of Knowing. We look forward to have more such impactful sessions. Any last pointers that you would like to add, Satya?
I think one comment I want to close with. This is something I've seen as a line on one of the, I think, book or something. It says, intelligent intelligence can be artificial,
Okay.
but stupidity is real.
Okay.
So we live with AIs like that.
Okay.
Every person, whoever is using AI, should be intelligently using it. So that's my take from the overall. And thank you very much for having me here. I'm looking forward for this journey of CSA Bangalore chapter and Power of Knowing working together to building CXO insights as a long game where we build the CXO's insights, bringing together for all the people to understand and learn more about how the leaders think. This is the beginning of the such sessions. Thank you, Prem, for making this happen.
Thank you, Satya. With this, I would like to conclude the session. Thank you for this one. What Satya said is ask the right questions to GenAI and you will get the right answers. Don't you would put garbage, you will get garbage. So be intelligent in asking what exactly you want to look at in solving. So with that pointer, we would like to conclude our session for today. Thank you everybody for joining us. And It's been a great session. Thank you. We have streamed this session across YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Hope you found this discussion valuable and thank you for joining us. Our next episode is our 218th episode, Difference Why Women Must Shape the Future and Wealth at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. Looking forward to see you. Good day and bye for now. Thank you.
Thank you all. Namaste.